Okay, good afternoon. Let's start today. Um, so, we were discussing about variables last time. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
We were discussing about variables. So, we uh, discuss how to store data and how to manipulate them and how to display them. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, there are three things we need to implement in a program. One is data. We need data, and then we need expressions to manipulate data, and then we need a control flow. Okay, control flow means how the program flows. Okay, so we learn about loops, so we can repeat the same as expressions using loops, and today we will learn about making decisions. Okay, so up to now our program flow contains just loops or linear flow. Okay, so linear flow means one after the other. Okay, and we have loops to repeat the same expressions. And today we will learn about uh, another control structure. We call them control structures, conditions. Okay, so usually we have this block. Uh, in English also we have conditional expressions. We call them if we do something, there's a result. Okay, so if and uh, so we say if I go there, I can meet him or something like that. Okay, that means it's a condition. The the result satisfies only when the condition is true. Okay, if I go there, if that becomes true only, um, the results is satisfied. So similarly, in computer programming, we have the same conditions. If something is true, then we do something. We can do something. So we have a condition here. So and then there's another type of condition which is a little bit complex. So if the condition is true, then we do something. The something will be written here. The expressions will be written here. And else means if the condition is not true, if otherwise. So if true, we will do something. Otherwise, we will do something else. Okay. So we have these two conditions to control the flow. So depending, so now the control flow will not be same for all the data. Depending on data and expressions, we can have different control flow. It can move. So if the condition is true, we can uh, execute certain expressions, and if it is not true, we can execute something else. Okay. So these are the two uh, uh, things we want to do. Okay, so we will see how we can use these expressions. Yeah, last lecture there was a problem with my computer. There was a power failure. I have only a final uh, part of the lecture recorded, so I'll upload that part only. Okay, sorry about that. There was a problem with uh, the recording. Okay, so so let's do a problem. So we want to get a number from the user, and then we want to print or display whether it's an even number or odd number. Okay, so we want to uh, get a uh, um, number. So we have to ask a question first. We need to have an event. Okay, ask what is something like that. Okay, enter a number and wait. and then this will give us the answer. Okay. So we need to have a variable to, so now it will give an answer, so we need a variable to store that data. So we will make a variable, say num. You can have any name, but it's better you have a meaningful name. Okay. So once the answer is taken, we want to set the variable to that answer. So we have to set our new variable to the answer. The answer is the one, it's a fixed variable, or it's already defined variable with a special purpose. So it will, when you answer the question, it will store the answer in the variable answer. Now, after that, what we do is we want to take that from that special variable, because that will be replaced if you ask another question. So we want to take that variable and the value and store in our own variable. So this is what we do here. So now we want to check whether this is an even number or an odd number. So how do you check? So if you have a number, integer value, so how do you check whether it's an even number or odd number? If you do it with mathematics, so how do you do? So how do you check a number is even or not? Yeah, you have to check whether the number is divisible by 2. So we need an operation. So we need to go for an operator. So how do you check the number is divisible by 2? So we have division operator, arithmetic operator. So what else we can use? So we can use this as well. And we can use the modulus operator. So in Scratch, the modulus operator is here. So we can use that. So the meaning of this is, so we have this modulus operator in almost all the languages. So that means, so we have two operators for integers. So this is only for integers. Okay. Integer division. So when you divide 10 by 5, the answer is 2. Okay. And the remainder is 0. So that is how it works. So if you divide something by an integer, so if you divide 10 by 4, what will be the answer? And if 10 and 4, so what will be the answer? In most of the languages, it will be 2, because if you divide two values, integer values, usually it will return an integer value, and the answer will not be 2.5. 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. Most of the languages, if both are integers, the value output will be integer. So the decimal part will not be there in the answer, because you cannot store decimals in integer variables. Okay. So you don't have memory, or the format is different. So you cannot store decimals in integer. So if you divide two integers, the answer will be an integer. So you have to remember this if you program in C, Java, or any other language. So if you divide two integer values, Python it's different. Usually you get the answer as an integer. So then you have a remainder. So if you want to find the remainder, you have to use this modulus operator. Okay. So usually, so this means, so if you divide a number, any number, by any number, so this will give the remainder. So if what we want to do here is, we have our number stored, the number input by user, you can see we store it in this variable. So now that number is stored there, so we can use it now, reuse it, because if we take this variable, that variable contains the answer for our question. So we get the answer and store it in this variable, and after that we can use that variable for our calculations. So now what we are going to do here is we are going to divide this by 2 and see the answer. Okay. So now what we want to do? So this will give the remainder. So if it is an integer, it will give us 0. If not, it will give 1. Okay. If it is an odd number. So now we want to check the answer for this question, this expression. So how do you do it? Okay. So here we have to make a decision. What is the decision? If the answer for this expression is 0, if this is 0, it is an even number. If this is not 0, it's an odd number. Okay. So for that we have to make a decision. So we will go with this because we have to make 2 decisions. If this is true and if this is not true. Okay. So this is the expression we want to know. So this expression is a can take, so if condition expression can only have 2 values. One is true or one is false. Okay, you cannot have more than that. So we call them Boolean expressions or binary expression. We can have only 2 values. So not like the other expressions. For some other calculation, you can have 2.5, those kind of values, infinite number of values. But for if condition, we can have only 2 values, which is true or false. Okay. So if true, because we have 2 cases. If it is true, we will do something here. If it is false, we will do something here. So for that, we need some expressions. So here we want to compare this to a value. Okay. So we have 3. Last time we discussed this: greater than, less than, or equal. Okay. So here we want to find something is equal or not. Okay. So we take this value. Okay. And we make it equal to 0. So this is an comparative operator. So this is an arithmetic operator. We return a value. This is an arithmetic operator. So we return a number from this. It can be 0. In this case, it can be 0 or 1, because we have only 2 results when you divide by 0. Either the remainder is 0 or 1. Okay. So that one we compare with 0. So what is the value which can return from this expression? So we call this expression an comparison operator or comparison expression. Okay. So this can be true. So if this is 0, 0 equals 0, true. If this becomes 1, this becomes false. So you can see now this expression can result only 2 values. So this is a binary expression. Okay. So we can the results of this expression can be 0 or true or false. So we can use this expression in our if condition. So now what? So if this number we entered stored here, we divide it by 2 and the remainder is 0, if it will be a even number. Okay. And if not, if it is false. So now if this expression is true, then we will do this. So you can have more than 1 expressions here. Okay. But here we only need only 1 expression. And if it is false, we go to the other part, else part. Okay. So if this is true, then we do that, else we do that. So if it is true, it's an even number. If it is false, okay, here we can say it's an odd number. Okay. So now we will run this and see. So it asks for a number. So we enter 10 and it's print even number. And again, we will run this and we will print 13 and it says odd number. So you can see, so we will put -3 and written as odd number. Okay, so now the program works. Okay, so this is how we make decisions. Okay, any questions? Okay, so since seems there are no questions, so we will move. So we will uh, uh, just check some. So okay. So last time we discussed about different stuff. So I will show you. So you can go through this book I shared with you, and so can you see this? So these are the some of the binary expressions we can have. Can you see the document? So I have shared it with. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So okay. So yeah, I'll come into that. If you have more than one conditions, what we can do. So okay. So I discussed this last time also. So these are the green ones are the binary expression. So this will return 0 or not. Okay. So so this the meaning of this is this x is less than y. If it is less than y, it will return true. So for example, if x is 5 and y is 10, it will be true. Okay, because 5 is less than 10. Okay. Uh, so the other way, if x is 5 and if it is greater than 10, okay, so this expression is false. Okay, so x is 5 and y is 10. X greater than y is x. So 5 greater than 10 is false. Okay, so likewise, so this one is false. This one is false because 10, this side is 10 and this side also 10. So 10 greater than 10 is false. So it's same as in English. How we think. Okay, these expressions will greater than and less than and equal will behave as uh, as we uh, as in the normal life or normal mathematics. Okay, so for example, 10 less than 5 plus 6. Okay, so this expression, so it should there should be a usually a brackets, so otherwise there will be a problem. But so so here the answer is 11 and 11 greater than 10. It is true. Okay, so likewise, so you can use these uh, variables uh, to so not variable expressions to compare these values. Usually we need to compare values uh, to return true or false. Okay, in only a comparison will return true or false, because usually when we make a decision, we want to compare with something. Okay, whether it's equal, whether it's greater, or whether it's smaller, or there are some other comparison operators in C and Java, Python. Like you can have equal, less than or equal. Okay, greater than or equal. So likewise, but in Scratch we have only few uh, uh, operators, so 3 operators here. Okay, so so if you have more than one condition, so there was a question, if you have more than one condition, what we want to do. So we will have an example. So there are some other control structures in C and Python, but here we have this is a very basic language, so we have to use if condition um, for that. Okay, so now I will show you how to do this. So you are given your marks, okay, for a subject. So you check the mark number of the value, and if it is greater than 75, you print A, and if it is greater than 60, you print B, and if it is greater than 40, you print C. Okay, so since uh, here also we need to enter a number, enter the marks. So we'll say math. Okay, so we take the marks. So okay, we will have a new variable. So we need to have, usually we need to have meaningful variables. Okay, so we take the marks and get the answer and store it in the mark. So now we want to check. So we have several conditions to check now. Okay, so for that we need to go for controls. Okay, and if condition. So now here also we need to have an operator. So here, if it is greater than, say, you can use this one. So if the marks is greater than, how do you check? So what's if it is say greater than or equal to 75, we want to print A. So what first thing we want to check is your marks are greater than 75 or equal to 75. How do you check here? So there's a question, can we use statements more than one? I can't exactly get the question. We can use more than one statement. So we will see here. Okay. So here, what should be the value? So we want to check. So there are two ways you can get. So one is you can check greater than or equal to 75. But here we don't have greater than or equal at the same time. So what is the value we should enter here? If we want to use only greater than, so we want to, this expression should become true if our marks are greater than or equal to 75. So then it is true. So then it is an A. Okay. So it should be 74, because if we put 75 here, you can see this will become true when the marks, so we will assume the marks are integers. Okay, we don't have decimals. Okay, so if the marks are 70, for example, if it is 75, this 75 will not become true, because if this is 75 and 75 greater than 75 is false. Okay, so we want to make 75 also true. We will assume here marks are integers. Okay, that's an assumption. So we will check whether how to change it later. Okay, so now we will do like this first, assuming marks are integers. Okay, so now you can see this is true only when it is greater than or equal to 75. So you got A. Okay. Else. So now we have earlier we had only true or false, because if it is true, we have only two cases. If it is can be divided by 2, it is even. If it is not, it is odd. But here we have 3 or 4, maybe fail as well. If the marks are less than 40, you fail. Okay, so we have 4 conditions. So how do you check now? So if it is a B, it should be greater than 60 or equal to 60. So we can say 59, because otherwise uh, so we can, sorry, operators, we can use this one as well. So since if we put 60, 60 will not be included, so we have to put 59, because 60 greater than 60 will be false. So now all the numbers, so this will be true for all the numbers greater than or equal to 60. Okay, and but if so this should be less than 75 as well, because if it is less greater than 75, it will be an A. So how do you do this now? So there are actually, we cannot so if we I mean, we cannot only check this one, we have to check whether the marks are greater than or equal to 60 and less than 75. Okay, so we have to do two things. Okay, so how do you do this now? So we can do that. Okay, means this one. So where should we do it now? So if the marks are 75, we will go into this section, and it is less than 75, we will go into this section. So if you are in this section, what do we know now? If you come into the else section, so you have program, say if you enter marks 90, so you will go into, so 90 is like greater than 74, you will print an A. So if you enter 65 now, so where will be end up? Okay, will be end up in this section, because else section. Okay, so in the else section, what do we know now? So what do we know? If we ends up with in the else section, we have a we can have one information. If we come here, what is that information? If we come to the else section, we have one information about our marks. What is that? So we are here now. So we enter some marks and we come into the else part. What do we know now?
Marks is lesser than 75.
Yeah, so marks are less than 75 is known now. So we don't want to check it again, because we know now marks are less than 75. So we want to check only this condition. So we know that it is less than 75. So we don't want to check it again. So we can check. So I will use an else condition as well, because we want to, so we can get this condition. And so we have to put this inside this section, because we want to, so we cannot put it here. Okay, so it's wrong, because if the marks are greater than 75 only, it comes here. But what we want to do is we want to put it here, because we want to first make sure it is less than 74. So if it is less than 74, we will end up in this else condition. Okay, so inside the else condition, we have to check this second condition. Okay, so if it becomes, if your program control, the programs comes here, we know now it is less than 75. So now we will check this one here. So now if we come here, what is the case? What are the information? So if we go to the true part, the then part, so what do we know? What do we have now if we are here? So we call them nested conditions. So we inside one if condition inside another. Okay, we call them nested. Okay. So so if we come into then part here, this part of this second if condition, what do we have now? Okay, so we have two conditions now. So first, if we want to come here, we have to fulfill two conditions. One is this should be false, otherwise it will go into here. This should be false and this should be true. That is what we want. Okay, if that is the case, we have a sorry about that. We have a B. Okay, so in the else condition, what do you have now? So if you come to the else condition here, the second else condition, so what are the information we have? So to come here, we have to make, so if it comes here, we know this condition is false, otherwise it will not come into this else condition, and this also false. So these two conditions are false when you come here. That means what are the numbers we are coming here? What are the numbers which will be coming here?
Mark is lesser than 60.
Yeah, all the numbers less than 60 will come here. Okay, so now we have another two cases. We have to check. So if the number is less than 60, we have to check for two conditions. One is if it is greater than 40, we have to make it C, else we have to make it F. Okay, so here also, in this also we have to make a condition. So we have to make a decision, sorry, like this. Okay, so what is the condition? It should go here now. So we have to go to the operators. Again, we can use I'll make a small difference here. So I will use the other condition. So here I will make a switch. So I'm using the other condition. Okay. So you can use any. So there's no one correct way of writing the program. There are so many ways of doing it. Okay. So here we have only two conditions. So if the marks are less than 60, we come to the else part. And here we have to make two decisions. One is if the marks are greater than or equal to 40, it's a C. It is less than 40, it's a F. Okay. So now I'm checking the less than condition first. So you can do anyway. I mean, you can use any condition here. So what is the value which should come here if I'm writing like this? 41. Okay, 41. If you put 41, what will happen to the 40? Will it be true or false? So if you have 40, what will be the answer for this one? It's a true, right? So 40 less than 41, it will be true. So then, I want to check if the marks are less than 40, it should be a F. So if it is 40 also, it will be a F. So I want to make F here. So what I want to do here is you got and F. Okay. So now what will happen is else. So what will happen here? So if you have your marks is 40, also you will get an F. Okay. So that is not what we want. So how do you change it? So you have to make it 40. Okay. So now, because I changed the condition expression to the other way, so that is why you have to be careful. So all the other expressions I use a greater than condition. So you have to include that mark. You have to put 1 down. But here I'm using the other way. So now if the marks are, so 40, I don't want to include it here. Okay, so 40 should be go to the other side. So okay, so this is how we write the program. Okay, so what will happen? So if you enter mark, so if it is greater than or equal to, so greater than 74, that means greater than or equal to 75, you will get an A. If it is greater than or equal to 60 or greater than 59, you will have 59, and 40, less than 40, you will get an F, and if it is so else means, so how do you, what else condition here is? So if you come to the else condition here, so you have to be this one false, and so if this one false only, you go to this else condition, and if this one false only, you go to this else condition, and this one false only, you go to this else condition. So all these three should be false to get and see. So we will check. So we will enter 50. So if it 50, this is false. If it is 50, this is false. If it is 50, this is false, and you will get a C. So after writing your program, you have to check with, you have to recheck with some of your data. Just enter for different conditions, and you have to check whether your logic is working. So we will run this now. So we will enter some marks, say 90. You got an A. Okay, correct. So 70, you got an B, and 50, you got an C, and 30, you got an F. So after doing this, so after writing your program, you have to check, okay, whether your program is working correctly. So usually your program has problems in the boundaries. So what are the boundaries here? The boundary cases. So 75 and 74 are boundary cases, because we have to be very careful about this if condition inside the boundary. So when we enter 74, it should be B. Okay, that is working. And if it is 75, so you have to check these boundary cases, otherwise so it's working. And we will check with the other case 60. So we call them debugging, or so you have to after writing a program, you have to make sure that is working correct. Okay, so that is also correct. So we enter 40, you got a C, that is correct, and 41, okay, will be fine. 39, correct. So I think now our program is working fine. Okay, yeah, we can use this condition, or condition, and equal and greater than or equal. Okay, so we will do that. So now, so we will enter some decimal numbers now. 76.5. Got an A. Okay. Okay. 75.0. Okay. Got an A. 74.5. So what will be the value now? Okay, for 74.5 also, you got an A. Okay, so it's fine. Okay, 74.5, but maybe 74.1. So if it is rounded up, it's fine. But so usually we rounded up. The marks are usually not rounded down. Usually, okay. So if you get 0.1 also, it will be rounded up usually in your exams. Okay, but here if it is not an say marks, so something else. So this is a problem now. Okay, so there's a problem. So we assume that the numbers are integers, and we wrote a logic, and it works fine with integers, but with decimal numbers, it's doesn't make sense. Okay, there are errors. So we want to correct that now. Okay, the first, so we will assume that if it is say less than 74.5, it should be should not be an A. So if it is 74.9 also, so we will assume. Usually it's not the case for the program, for the logic. So we want to have a logic to develop. So we will have a case if it is even a fraction less than 75, it should not be an A. Okay, so this is our assumption now. So how do you change it now? So this, say, so do you put something like 9999 or something like that? So we will do something like that. So now 74.5, it's an B, okay. 74.9 also B. 74.999 also B. 74, okay, sorry, 74.9999, okay, it's also B. 74.99999. Okay, so you got an A. Okay, still there's a problem. So how do you correct this? So even though if you put lots of nines, still your program can get an issue. Okay, there's a possibility your program can produce wrong answer. We call them logical errors. The error in the logic. The program will run, but there's an error in your logic. Okay, so there's an error in our logic. So if you enter 74.999 even, it will be a B, but if you put 74.4959, it is greater than this one and it will even A. Okay, so logic is wrong. We call them logical errors. So how do you correct it? Okay, so the issue is, so if you do this, there's only one place this will be a problem. So now if you do this, so if you put 74.9999, whatever nines, how many nines, I don't know, still you will get a B. But here there's one place where this will be a problem. So what is that place? There's only one number now. This logic will fail. Yeah, 75. Okay. So we know now this will address all other cases other than that 75. So we have to now we have this condition which will address all other conditions other than 75, equal to 75. So now we want to combine these two conditions. So it should be true for this condition and it should be true for 75 as well. Okay, so how do you say it in English? So if the marks are greater than 75, or if your marks are equal to 75, this should be true. Okay, so either it should be this one or the other one. Okay, so we have to combine two conditions. Okay, so we call them, so to combine two conditions, there are operations like AND, okay, and OR. Okay, so AND means, okay, if this is a condition true and this is also true and both should be true. So you go, I want to eat apples and oranges. Okay, if you say in English, if I want to eat apples and oranges, that means you have to eat both. Okay, to that satisfy that one. Okay. If you say apples or oranges, I want to eat apples or oranges. That means if you eat one either apple or orange, it will be true. Okay. You will be satisfied your condition. Okay. So these are the difference. So if you put an and, so all these conditions should be satisfied. I want to go to say I want to write. So I want to add this whatever. I want to eat apples and oranges. So I want to eat apples or oranges. So here there are two conditions. One is this one, and the other one is 75. Okay, so I will take these two conditions out. Sorry. So our condition should be satisfied when. Okay, so if you use and, both should be satisfied. If it is or, only one should be enough. So what should be used to combine these two to make our condition true if it is greater than or equal to 75? So this condition will work all conditions except 75, and we want to combine it with sorry, this one will become true for all the numbers for 75. Yeah, it will be an O. So sorry. Okay. So now this one or this one. So now we can combine these two. That means if the marks are 75 or it is equal to 75. Okay. So either this one or this one. So if your marks are greater than 75, this will be satisfied. If it is 75 also, now it is satisfied. So if one of these conditions is satisfied, your expression become true. So now we will check again. So we will run. So 74.99999, it will be at B, and 75.000001, it will be A. And now we will enter the boundary condition 75, and now you will have an A. Okay, so now our logic is correct there. And here also we want to do the same thing. Okay, then go to an operator, and so here also we have to make 60 greater than 60 and equal to 60 as well. So we have to combine these two conditions with an O, because if either is correct, our we should go to, it should be true. Okay, operators, we go to O again. Sorry, the order doesn't matter here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the order doesn't matter. Sometimes it matters, but so now you can see. So it is 60 or if your marks are 60 or greater than 60, this will become true. Okay, this whole expression we combine using O. So if your marks are 60 also, it will true, because only one is needed to be true for this to be true. Okay, here. What about this one? So do we need to change this one? So if it is less than 40, okay, we going to go for X. So we will check. Okay, so even if it is 39.999, this will be true. Okay, if it is true, you will get an F. So if it is 40, it will work. You say 40 greater than 40, you will go for A. So you can see now. So depending on how you write it, you have to change your logic. So here we don't want to change our logic, so it will work. So we will say, so if it is 40.0001, it will be a C because it is greater than 40, and even the 40, you will come here because 40 less than 40 is false. So 40 will come here. So here we don't want to change anything in our logic. Okay. So I will show you this. We have this table. Okay. So this is the. So you will learn this in electronics as well, in logics, whatever. So we have two variables, x and y, and we combine with O. So if x is true, y is true, both are true, we will have true. If x is true and y is false, either is one is true enough for this to become true. So false, true, true, and this to become false, both should be false. Okay, and n. Okay, so there's a not operator as well. Okay, we need that one sometimes. Okay, so if it is true, not x will be false. It will be the inverse. So if it is false, not x will be this one. So where's n? Okay, yes, n. So yes, n. So n is the other way. Where's n? N table. Okay, so this is n operator. So for n to be true, both should be true. If the both conditions are true, so I need apples and oranges. That means I need both. Both are true, the results will be true, the combination. And if it is at least, I mean, if one is false, okay, the whole expression become false. Okay, so it's the other way of this. Okay, so I will check something. So sorry, I deleted everything anyway. Let's see whether we can. Okay. So enter a number. And we have the number variable. So I will store it in our number variable. So I want to check this number is between 10 and 20. So how do you do it with Scratch? So we have operators here. These are the operators. So using this 6 operators, we want to check. I enter the number and I want to check whether the number is 10, between 10 and 20, including those two numbers as well, including those two numbers. So I want to say something. If the number is greater than or equal to 10 and less than or equal to 20, the number can be decimal number, I mean the fractional number. It's not an integer. So how do you check this one? So we need a variable number, and we can say 10 is 1 and sorry 20 and 10. Okay, so it should be less than 20 and greater than 10, and including these two numbers. So how do you do? So how do you combine these two? Okay, so we will say excluding these two numbers first. Okay. So first we will say excluding 10 and 20, we want to find whether the number is between 10 and 20. So, okay, yeah. So if the number is between 10 and 20, what the condition we want to combine? So if it is between 10 and 20, this should be true. Okay, the number should be greater than 10, and the number should be less than 20 at the same time. Otherwise, it will not be. So if it is only one, this one is satisfied. If the number is 25, this will be true. If the number is 15 also, this will be true. But if the number is 25, this will not be true. If it is 15, this is also true. So now we want to combine these two. Sorry. With this. Okay. So now the number is so if the number is less than 20 and greater than 10, it will be true. So we cannot include 10 if we by making it 9, because for 9.99 also it should be false. Okay, so we will use an if condition here. Okay, so now we say something. Condition email. Okay, so if we run this one now, so if I enter number 34, it will be false. If I enter say 0, it will be false. If I enter some number between these two, it will be true. Okay, so now we want to include 10 as well for this condition. Okay, we did that earlier, so we need to put that over here. Okay, and you can use this one 10. So we can combine these and we put it here. What happened? Okay. Let me put it here. Oops. Okay. So now, and here also we have to combine. So we know to include this one, we have to use an or condition here again. This number is less than 20 or number is equal to 20. So otherwise, if we don't do it, we will not include that number. So we discuss this earlier. So the same thing now. Okay. So this is a little bit complex condition, but it's not that complex. So if the number is so if you have to think one by one, block by block. The most inner block is this one. So if the number is greater than 10, it will be true. And or if the number is equal to 10, it will be true. That means if you combine these two with or, if either is true, this will be true. That means if the number is greater than or equal to 10, this will be true. And then here, if the number is less than 20 or equal to 20, it will be true. Okay. So then that means less than or equal to 20. So 20 is included. And then both should be true to make this number between, so it's a little bit longer. Let's see when I can fix it here. Yeah. So now, so if I enter that's our event. Okay. 20, it is true, and 10 also it is true. Okay. So now you can see you can use this combination. So I will make this smaller a little bit. Okay. To combine these conditions. So using these combinations, you can check. So you can write this condition in the another way as well. So any other way you can write this. Any other way you can do the same expression. So if you did the logic, or whatever, I don't know, I'm not sure when you do it. So you can, yeah. So you can get the inverse of this. So if you do the logic, you will see in electronics you have this usually with AND gates and NAND gates. Okay. I'm not sure whether you do it for A levels. I'm not sure. If you do it, you will learn anyway in the first year again if you haven't done it. Okay, so you can get this the other way. Okay, so what is the other way? So first you make the inverse. So make it false, the false condition. So what is the other condition? So where's the variables? Okay, so my variable marks greater than 20. Sorry, greater than less than 10. So I will make this larger. So this should be false. So if the number is 10, this is false. So 10 will be included. The other way also, if your number, so I'm writing the other one now, false condition, the inverse, 20. Okay. So now, so this also should be false, our number to be between 10 and 20, including those two numbers. So so this is now okay. If this is true, our final condition should be false, and this is true, our final condition should be false. either this is true. So one of this condition is true. Our final condition should be false. Okay. So if one of this condition means it's an O. Oops. Okay. So now, so this is becomes true if our number is greater than 10, less than 10, sorry, and greater than 20. So what should be the, so this should be false for our the final answer to be true. So this become true if we are out,
நல்லா விளையாடிருக்கிறோம் பெரிய
out of
இன்னிங்ஸ்
our
ஆடையில நான்
final
கௌரவமான சாப்பிட்டீங்களா அவன்கிட்ட கேள் பெற அமைக்க
so if we are out of our condition, this will be true, and if we are inside our condition, this will be false. So we want to inverse this. So to inverse this, we use not. So now it will, so this condition become false when we are outside, so inside, and this will become true when we are inside. So we want to make it the other way, become it the inverse. So we have to use it. So these two conditions are same. Okay. So depending on what you want, you can write it in, so in any other way. So now we will check. So 10. Oops. So that's not. Okay. I haven't put not. So 10 become true. 20 become true. Any other number between true, and 10.00001. Okay, sorry, 9.9999999 is false. Okay, and again 20.0001 also false. So now this condition also will mean the same thing. Okay. So so you can see, you can combine, so this is logic. So using the same logic we use for the other things as well in electronics or any other logics expressions is similar to what we use in our programming languages. Okay, so if you understand those, you can use this knowledge to programming, and if you want to understand this in programming, you can use that for other applications as well. Okay. Okay. So any questions on this? Yeah, we can use two if conditions, but it is you don't do it usually because it will make your code larger and less readable. Okay, so this one is more readable because you can use two if conditions to check two conditions. Okay, it's a one way, but it will become your code larger, and sometimes it's slow as well. Okay. Why it becomes slower? So if you use two if conditions instead of this one, it can be slower. Anyone can think of that. So I can use this one. So I will, it's a good question actually. So this is one if condition. Okay. So where's the controls? So this is, sorry. This is 1. And you can do the same thing using this as well. So, so I will copy this. Oops. And I will take this and copy again. Otherwise I have to write. Okay. So you can use another if condition. Okay, so you don't need this else here. If then and if then. Okay. Here we want an if else as well. Okay, so these two are now sorry. So you can combine with and with these two. Okay, so these two are same. So if this is true and this is true, you will come here, and this is true. So and this is false. So actually, you cannot do it like this way. So you have to have two if conditions. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So if it is true, you will come here. If it is all other conditions, you have to either it will come here or here. Okay. So see, I mean it doesn't matter. So we can write the same expression here and same expression here. So it will only execute once, but there's a difference between these two programs. So what is the difference? So this second one may be slower. It may. Okay. And you have to write say true. False. So here if you want to write, so this is true, both conditions true. And you can write, so here only one condition true, that means false. And here also false. Okay. So these two programs will give the, so if it is this one true, it will come here. Both are true, it will be true. If one is true, this one true, and this one false, it will be false, and this one false. If one is false, it's false. Okay. Yeah, this no, I think yeah, this is similar. Sorry about that. So what happened here? So which one is sorry? Which one is faster? So here, if this is false, we will not check the second condition. So here we check only one condition. Do we check both conditions here? So to express this expression, we have only one expression here. So here, if this is false, we don't want to go into this one. So we have only check one condition. So these are, sorry, I made a mistake. So these both conditions are true. So if it is true only, we go to the second condition to be checked. But here, so if this is true and we have everything in one expression, do we check the both conditions here in the first one? In the second one, if the first one is false, we don't check the second one. What about this one? Here also, we don't do it. So we call them short circuit operation. So if the first one is false, we know that the full expression is false. So the compiler will not go and check the second condition because it's useless. Here also the same with the O condition as well. If the first one is true, okay, we don't want to go and check the second one because if either one is true, it's fine. Okay, so this one and this one are same. Okay, if the first one is true, we will not go to the second one and we make it false. So first one is false, the total expression is false. So here with this one also it will be the same. So even though you have everything in one condition, if the first part is false, okay, and we will not go and evaluate the second part, it's useless. Okay, so the compiler will not do it. And here, if this is true in the O condition, if one is true, we don't go and check for the next part because you know if one is true is enough. Okay, so so we can so the compiler will optimize. We call them optimize. So it will do only minimum operators. So we will learn this stuff later. So I just want to since when you ask a question, I want to demonstrate this. Okay, so we have to be very careful when you are interchanging these O's and ands with not. So we have to be very precise and combine. So I will give you some exercises, so you can. I think there are some exercises in the book. Yeah, there are some exercises in the book in the page 152. Okay, page 152. Try to do them by your own and see whether you can do this. So I think all these things you can do. Okay, so there's an so try to do the exercises found in page 152 in the reference book I have given in the LMS. Okay, so do them on your own, and if you have any question, you can post them in the discussion forum. Okay, any questions? Any more questions? Any other questions? You should do, there's a book I have given in the LMS. Okay, so in page page 150, I think it's 152, 152. There are problems 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 problems. Just do them. Okay, on your own. If you want, you can read the lesson as well, and you can do those problems. And if you have any question, if you cannot do them, just post the problem what you have, maybe a link to your code in Scratch, and we can see what is the problem is, and just try to do them. And it's very important you do them on your own. you can discuss with your friends, but try to do them if you want. If you cannot do them, just let me know. We have to go through it again, maybe with you, and you can post them in the discussion forum. Okay. You don't want to upload them. The question, if you, I mean, it's very simple, and this course is not a formal course, so I don't want to evaluate them. It's up to you, because it's you have to do it. If you do it, it's you know you can do it. Okay, so make sure you can do them. Otherwise, it's very important, as well as loops. In the loops also, I will. So there's the loops. Okay. So this the 10 questions. Do it on your own. And if you have a question only, you can let me know. Okay. Otherwise, you can do it your own. Okay. Make sure you do it your own, because if you don't cannot do them, it will be difficult for you to learn programming. I mean, okay. So try starting doing them. Okay. So then you can know that you have understood everything we we learn up to now. Okay. I will make some extra problems at the end of the Scratch module. Okay. So then you can try them as well. Any other questions? Okay, seems we don't have any other questions, so we can stop the today's lecture. Okay, thank you for participation, and hope you learned something. And if you have any question, you can contact me through LMS or through email or whatever. And so good night, everybody. Have a nice day. Okay.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Face this session
Thank
for
you, sir.
first time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.